What's up, everyone? Back for another live. This time with the one and only Chino Too Strong, aka Lewis. I'm gonna send him the invite, and then we'll be good to go. All right, now we wait.
Yo, what up, man?
What's going on, bro? How you been?
Good, chilling, bro.
Nice. Happy to hear it. I know you're a busy man, so let's hop right in. I've been looking forward to this one a lot, bro, for sure. So ever since you came to my bench competition and wrecked everybody, that's when I first kind of knew about you, and then I was following Terrence's stuff and saw that you guys partnered up and everything. And then I went to your deadlift competition, and I just loved the atmosphere that you bring. And then on top of that, I listened to the Heal and Glow podcast that you did the interview for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of started to learn more about you, and I was like, yo, me and this dude have a lot in common, so I really wanted to talk to you because, first of all, you're mad strong for no reason, bro. For no reason. But also, I like your mindset for stuff, so I just wanted to, take this time to pick your brain. So thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you for inviting me, man. Appreciate it, man.
For sure. All right, so my first question for you, that's what everybody wants to know. How long have you been lifting, and what got you into it in the first place? And then what are some of your best lifts?
I've been lifting, so I want to say 20, 21, 22, 10 years then. I was lifting because I weighed 120 pounds when I started, so I was a little guy, so I had the Napoleon Chihuahua complex, So
Yeah.
And then I started, and I didn't take it serious for until 6 years ago, and then that's when I started the whole Too Strong thing. And my best lift, my favorite lift is my squat. My favorite lift, I think that was my 615.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because my favorite. I think it's the king of all workouts, but
yeah,
some people will disagree, but I think it's my favorite one.
Nah, bro, I definitely agree because I feel like out of all of the lifts, the squat, in my opinion at least, the squat's the most technical, and it's also the best demonstration of your overall strength because it's okay, yeah, the deadlift, you can pick stuff up, but actually having the weight on your back and controlling everything like that, it's a whole different beast.
I absolutely think so. And also, you get big ass legs, so
yeah,
that's
exactly. Nice. All right, so something that I kind of noticed, checking out some of your lifts, is you use a bunch of different types of equipment for it, right? So, I noticed that you use knee wraps and stuff like that. So, what other types of equipment do you use, and what kind of got you into it in the first place?
As far I do the knee wraps and stuff like that, but I got into it because I really it was, I guess, when I first got introduced to powerlifting, the people that showed me, they would tell me go wrap and stuff like that. And the knee wraps that I use are actually a gift from my boy who stopped powerlifting, and he had a 700-pound squat. So all my wraps, even my belt that I had, it was all gifts passed down to me. It's also but reality, I'd rather a knee sleeve, a squat and sleeves is more impressive than wraps. But other than that, the only thing I have to use is safety squat bar, banded. Sometimes I use chains, but I really don't use any specialty bars. And for one reason, because I don't have any, so I just use the regular barbell, and, dumbbells and stuff like that. But other than that, though, no crazy specialty bars.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you have a really strong safety squat bar squat too. I just started using the SSB a little bit last year and more so this year, bro. It's a whole different beast.
Oh yeah.
I remember
my coach just put up a video of him doing 525, and I'm like, what? For 2-3 reps, I was like, oh nah, see, this is different. It's different.
Exactly, dude. I remember it because at the time, I think my squat at the time was 485 or something like that, and so my coach put in the program. It's all right, I want you to do a set of 6. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, I know the safety squat bar is different, but let me slap on 3 wheels. It did not go well, bro.
You know, it's crazy. When I met Terrence, the first time I met Terrence, I went my first time doing safety squat bar. He was at Apollon, and I loaded 3 plates, and he's watching me like, oh, like, and then I got under, picked it up, but I dropped, yo, to get back up. He's like, it was like, whoa, whoa, hold on. It's
Yeah.
definitely different. That was a funny day. He's like, yo, that's your first time. I was like, shut up, man. Hold on.
Yo, that's so funny, bro. So, how do you incorporate that into your training? So you said you kind of use bands here and there. I definitely seen a lot of you guys use bands for squats, for your bench, but how do you incorporate that? Like, do you do it for overload or speed work? Like,
It's
what do you?
mainly for speed work. It's mainly for speed work. I go like super light, like 50, maybe 55% of like your 1 rep max, and I like to because, like powerlifting, the goal is to get the weight up as fast as possible. That's the faster you get that up, the more technical it is. The faster you get it up, the easier it will be for you to actually get the weight up. So bands is a very good way to work that explosion, especially in squats and deadlifting. And for me, I like to use the cues hips and using your hips a lot to like finish the lift because
Hmm.
you know it's that hip hinge is everything. Like you hinge those hips and that weight's coming up no matter what, you know, no matter what's on the bar. You have to have strong hips. So I feel like the bands is a perfect way to get it up faster. So that way while you're squatting or you're deadlifting, it's such a, you know, you get to stuck that sticking point, the bands will help you break through that sticking point. So that's probably one of the main reasons I use the bands.
Yeah, I more so started using accommodating resistance like this past year for myself. But then I realized how great of a teaching tool it is for my clients. Because especially when it comes to speed work, just having them do the same motion over and over and over again, but not having it be too heavy for the point of, like they can't actually do the lift itself. Like
Yeah.
having them do mad sets of like 3 or something like that, it reinforces just doing the good form over and over again. So
Yeah.
definitely a huge fan of bands and chains for that. And then also for the overload, I feel like a lot of people are so scared of the hole and the squat. So what I'll do is like I'll have them use chains so that way it feels heavier at the top, so they kind of get used to that feeling of, oh, this feels heavy. But once they pause at the
Way
bottom
to
and
the
come back
bottom,
up,
it's way
yeah, it's
it's
not that
lighter,
bad.
so
So
they're
like, oh,
not
I
as freaked
can.
out.
Yeah.
I actually had a client today, like it's a mental thing where it's when you go down, you're thinking, oh, this shit is heavy. So that change is a very good way to like make them be more comfortable, and then once they get past that mental threshold, it's
Mhm.
just up and down, up and down, up and down.
Definitely. So, tell us a little bit more about like your own training split. So, first of all, you're mad athletic, right? You also do rugby outside of lifting, for those who don't know. So, how do you like? What is your approach to your training split? How do you balance strength, hypertrophy? You also do strongman and rugby. Like, is it seasonal, or how do you balance it?
It's seasonal. It's seasonal. So when as of right now, it's mainly more rugby training than kind of like rugby training less than anything else because this it really is you can't do you in my opinion unless you're on something crazy you really can't be doing all these excessive like different sports at one time.
Yeah.
For me, I think strongman and rugby go hand in hand because strongman is max weight for like what max for reps. It's rarely they have like 1 rep maxes, but that nervous system is fried. So when you're trying to go for like a speed, a sprint, or anything like that, your body takes a toll. So I tried to do powerlifting and rugby together, and it was ice baths every night. I was like, I was dying. It was too much for me. So once I was able to like, all right, focus on rugby. When I did strongman together, it was so much easier. It was so much easier. Like everything went together as far as like yoke walks. It was sled pushes. All those things carrying it incorporated into rugby. So if I like when not right now, I'm just doing like a leg push pull, not crazy, and
Mhm.
then I don't go crazy with the amount of like workouts that I'm doing, and I just so like if it's a day one is heavy, like a heavy day, I'll go like and when I say heavy, like now it's 70%. That's heavy for me now. and I'll go for reps or whatever, and then I'll do like leg day, just very minimal, 3 to 4 workouts, and then I'll go run sprints, and then I'll add some upper body, some push, like a push pull day type of thing. So that way, I'm not so taxed on my body, so I can go to practice and run for 2 hours.
Nice.
It's fun. I don't know. Powerlifting isn't fun for me anymore. Powerlifting felt like homework. So now it's
Yeah.
fun for me. Now I can like enjoy the different sports, but it's heavy one day and then light the next day. So I do like a upper body, lower, like a push and pull day type of thing. Push and pull day split. And like abs and carries and stuff like that.
So I'm sure everything is kind of like dependent on your goals, but do you find that taking that seasonal approach kind of affects your strength?
Oh
And
yeah.
do you feel like you could have like made, let's say you could have made more progress with your powerlifting if you just focused on that year round? Gotcha.
Oh, 100%. I think before I even got it, like really started, like, all right, I'm gonna dedicate just rugby. I was at the point where I was squatting 575 for triples,
Mhm.
and I was doing good. Everything was going great. I just wasn't having fun. Like I wasn't. I did it. I was like, I did the lift, and it was all right. It's not for me no more. I wasn't excited. I
Yeah.
usually get off like, but I wasn't excited at all. And that's when I knew, all right, maybe I gotta switch up. I get bored very easily, so I have to switch sports and stuff like that. But by doing that, it takes a toll on your body, and
Right.
it's it's like changing careers. It's basically what it is, and it's adjustment. You got to give your body time to adjust to the new movements, and especially going from static lifts to dynamic movements. Everything was sore. Shin
Yeah.
splits, hips hurting, knees hurting. I've never had that before. I was like, I've done powerlifting and I've never really had knee pain. And now I have like this crazy knee pain, ankle pain. So it's every adjustment. So I think like if I would have stuck to it, then I'd have been somewhere higher than
Yeah.
than I was before.
I feel like it's like a trade-off for everything. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you stick with one vein, yeah, you're gonna make more progress in that vein, like in the long run. But I feel like just like you're saying, it's like a wear and tear. So I was watching this video from Matt Wenning, and he was with like Mark Bell, and they were talking about how variety or like movement variety. This one guy was like, "Oh, variety is like the spice of life," and then Matt Wenning was like, "Variety is the spice of keeping your joints healthy." And I just started dying because I'm like, "Yo, that's so true." Because if I do let's say I do like a 6 month period of powerlifting, bro, my elbows killing me and like my hips and everything are all killing me. So then when I switch from doing powerlifting more to bodybuilding style, I'm like, yo, I feel so much better. Like my elbows don't hurt anymore and everything. So even though yes, you may not make as much progress, I feel like it's better for you in the long run overall, just like you're saying.
No, I absolutely 100% agree because I feel before when I was doing just powerlifting, I felt stiff. I felt like I was tired all the time. And now, I feel ready to go at any moment.
Yeah.
You get me? Like I feel like I can run around in the park with my kids. Before I couldn't do that. I felt so stiff. I felt like I couldn't move. If you told me to run, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so, but like I feel, I guess the word is lighter, loose.
Yeah.
And so I think it's definitely like my little brother was telling me the other day. He asked me. He's like, I put up a video of me, the video of me at the beach. He's like, "Yo, when are you gonna use that?" I was like, "Every day."
Right.
What do you mean? He's like, "Oh, your squatting is so important and like fundamental to our movement, but the way we move, running and stuff like that, that's what makes us healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy. Like we're putting all these load on your back, and it's dangerous.
Hmm.
Dangerous. You got to really know what you're doing and really train your body to get to those levels, and and then you'll finally eventually be able to lift what you want to lift if you
Yep.
continue it. But running, sprinting, those are such a fundamental ways of moving in your everyday life. Like it's healthy for your joints, like you said. Like
Right.
so, I think it's very extremely important to practice those movements.
For sure. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's like so I when I was in college, I lifted weights, but I also was in the mixed martial arts club, right? And I remember when I focused more on like doing like stand up or doing like jujitsu, wrestling, like all that kind of stuff, just like you're saying, I felt like ready. Like I felt mad limber, like I was ready to go all the time. But now that I've been doing more so like powerlifting stuff, bro, I'm so stiff. Like even just doing like rotational work, I'm like, yo, I am so stiff, bro. This is not good.
Yo, and it's kind of like, damn, man, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You see people jumping, like doing stuff, fun stuff. Like, yo, how you doing that right now? Stop, man, chill.
exactly. Exactly.
But now it's way different.
Yeah. It's mad funny because I remember watching. Did you ever watch American Ninja Warrior or like all the ninja?
Yeah.
Bro, I remember seeing it. I'm like, oh, that's not that hard, bro. I can do pull-ups. I could do like a muscle up. I could do the salmon ladder. And then I realized, like, no, I can't do any of that stuff. I would gas out.
Yeah.
Like,
I went to a parkour gym one time. It was so fun. Man, I was sore for like 6 days. I was there for 30 minutes, just jumping from platform to platform, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." And it comes these little kids just jumping, climbing, like doing pull-ups, doing the muscle ups up a side of a wall. I'm like, "Oh no, this ain't for me, man. This ain't for me."
exactly. Exactly. All right. So, my next question for you is more so about your business. What made you decide to open the Too Strong movement, and where did you get the idea from?
I'll go to the where I got the idea from. I was lifting at a gym, a local gym around here, and I used to tell one of my friends, my gym partner, actually, I was like, "Yo, we're here for like 3 hours a day. Why? Like, we should be making money off this." And it was an idea, and then I remember one of my friends would always tell me, joking, like, "Yo, you won. You're too big. You're too strong. Just that's it. Go home."
Yeah. Yeah.
And it stuck, and the too strong just stuck, and then when I started making t-shirts, and I always said, like, y'all want somewhere, I want somewhere where the energy is gonna be live, and the energy that I'm bringing to Too Strong, or like, if, like you said, like you've been around in the gym, like the energy is, I want somewhere where I could do that, so I made it like a goal of mine to open up a spot, and here I am. But right now, it's more of a, like, I'm trying to focus on bringing the name, the energy, the energy is more important than the physical location.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. I guess that's where my attention is focused on.
Nice. And I mean, bro, you're doing it. Like, I saw the video that you guys had made when it was you. I think he's your brother, and then like a couple other people on like the powerlifting competition.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was really good. And then um, it's interesting, like, now that I'm kind of branching out and talking to a lot more people in the fitness industry and in the strength game, a lot of people like I met through you and your events. Like Ivan and why am I blank on his name? The dude pulled 800 pounds beltless at your
Oh,
competition.
Hannon, yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe. Dude, Joe's like the coolest dude ever. So I'm
And
like meeting all these people, and yeah, you're doing a really good job of getting your name out there, bro. Definitely keep it up.
That definitely is crazy, because I was like, we took a picture that day, because it was we met each other. I met Terrence, I met Eddie, I met Joe, Ivan, like 5 years ago at my first competition.
Hmm.
And we were all competing against each other. It was, and then Ivan eventually became my coach. And
Nice.
then I remember I was there when Eddie first time he pulled 600. It was like, it's crazy, like how powerlifting, as much as like I don't want to like do it as of right now, don't want to like compete in it. Powerlifting has brought a lot of people that helped me make Too Strong what it is together. Yeah, I mean, like, it was
Yeah.
a lot of them are the reason why I have the energy that I have. So it's like Eddie. I don't know if you remember Eddie at the competition. He did the strongman
Yeah.
competition with me. So
Yeah.
like we went from powerlifting to competing strongman together. Like it's awesome. It's dope. Man, like, and there's a lot of strong and really awesome people. Like, really awesome people.
Definitely. And honestly, like that's something that I really like about powerlifting and strongman is the camaraderie, like for everything. Because I like when you first get into lifting, for most people it's about how you look, right? And then it's like there's so much, I don't necessarily want to say like aggression, but like competitiveness. It's like, oh, like I want to be the biggest, most jacked dude in the room. But like with powerlifting, it's like everybody's rooting for everybody else.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's so, dude, it's so dope to me. For me, like I pulled like 535, 525, something like that day. And then you have Joe come in and pull like 805 beltless. But he was still like the kindest dude like ever. So it's so dope. Like you meet all these different kinds of people from the sport. So I
It,
love it, bro, for
it's
sure.
dope. It really is dope. It really is dope, man. It's just awesome. Yeah.
Nice. So my next question for you is, what things have changed for your fitness journey over the years? Um, you kind of mentioned like you started out more so with like a powerlifting journey, and now you're doing more strongman and rugby. But like, how else has everything changed?
Um, I, I think for like, for especially for me, it's been more of a like, what longevity. I want to be able to practice this when I'm 50, when I'm 60.
Yeah,
There's a guy on my team, in my rugby team, who's 49,
that's
and I
crazy.
look at him like yo, and he's a beast. And I look at him like, dang, I wanna be that. I want to be able to enjoy what I like to do well into my 50s and 60s, and because it's a lot of people here, like I tell people like, yo, like, you're, especially in the gym, especially in fitness, ego's a killer. And
Yeah.
I tell like, yo, if something feels off, you got to stop right away. There's
Hmm.
I truly don't believe, oh, that hurts, keep fight through it. Nah, don't fight through that. Stop, put the weight down. What's up? Why you hurting? Your
Right.
knee hurts. Why your knee hurt? All right, we're gonna stop that right now. The point is to do this for years to come.
Yep.
Doing it right. There's something wrong if something hurts. If your back hurts while you're squatting, there's something wrong. Stop squatting. Figure it out. Like, figure out where the pain is coming from. Figure it out, and then start squatting again.
Yeah.
I'm like, for me, it's more of a like, I want to be able to teach my kids. I want to be able to, like, my kids be 17 years old, and her boyfriend is terrified of me. Like, that's a real goal. Like, I want to be able to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I think it's also like, I think fitness mentally, like, powerlifting is a very you versus you sport. It's not you versus the guy next to you. It's a you versus you. And my mentality has changed where I want to be competitive. I want to go against somebody. I want to beat that person in front of me. So rugby gives me that.
Hmm.
Rugby gives me that, like, yo, that person in front of me, he has to go down, and that man has to take me down. Like, it's I like that, and I think, like, so the safer I get to lift, the safer I get to practice, the safer I get to enjoy the things that I want to continue enjoying.
Yeah.
I think that's where fitness has taken a turn for me. Like, powerlifting it doesn't feed my aggression anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love going to powerlifting meets. I love that when I coach somebody, I'll be like, yo, listen, oh, they're like, I want to win. Whoa, 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 calm down. Like, what I need you to do is, yo, like, yo, you squat 315, come competition, you need to squat 360.
Hmm.
Like, that's what you need. You need to beat yourself, beat your numbers. That's the goal. Everybody there is trying to beat their numbers. You don't know who's going to show up.
Yep.
Like, the trophy, like, and the more you compete, and everybody, like, knows, like, seasoned competitors, they know that trophy don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It's the total you put up, and hopefully you get placed in a bigger rank, and you get to come up with a pro total. The trophy don't mean nothing. Like, I've walked out without the trophy. Like, yo, you keep that. Take it to the next person. It's more of a like, yo, you're there to beat your numbers and where it matters. And so, like, I think powerlifting for me is just, like, yo, I got bored of fighting with myself, so I wanna destroy somebody in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that. I definitely miss, especially because like as you become an adult, unless you're doing these kind of either like rec sports or you are a professional athlete, like you're not getting that competition and that drive that you're talking about. So I super feel you on that. And I also love that you talk about longevity. I think that is something that's very, very overlooked now. Dude, there's so many genetic freaks that are popping up because powerlifting is becoming more popular, right? And then the access to information, these kids will know more than I do at like 13 years old because they have so much access to everything on YouTube, all these different people. And I feel like the longevity idea kind of goes over their head because they're so successful so quickly. So, for example, There was somebody at a gym that I used to go to, first year lifting, deadlifts over 500, right? Has some issues with their knee, and then, oh, that's it, my career is over. It's like, relax, dude. You're not even mid 20s yet. Like, you still have your whole entire career, but like, play it smart, play it safe. Don't keep on trying to go balls to the wall every single session. Yes, you'll probably hit these numbers that you want to hit, but like, be patient with it. Like, it's really not for all that, and then just completely destroying yourself in the process. Because I remember, I tell the story often. I would always train at like an RPE 10 every single session. And like that's how you get hurt within 3 weeks into the block. And then you just can't train and then you have to take the time off for injury, blah, blah, blah. So I like your outlook and your approach to things because it's really, really smart for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a silver fox out here. So, with my gray long hair, strong as hell. Like that's what I want. But if you get hurt and you fuck up, and I see a lot, like you said, there's a lot of lifters out there that go balls to the wall, and what happens? They tear quads, and then they tear biceps, and that's it. And that's their what they could have done before. They can't do it no more, and the road back to it, it's hard. So for you to continue that, it's extremely hard. So if something hurts, I ain't going that heavy no more.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll stay right here. Let's go 315. Let's pump it out the weight. That's it. Hey, what's the point?
Right.
But a lot now, like social media, drives people to do excessive things just to get a couple of likes, and
Yeah.
and it's people don't understand. It's not worth it.
Right.
And so like it, and that's what I guess like I said, longevity is the biggest thing for me.
Nice. So you pretty much covered like what your current goals are. Kind of talking about like you want to train safe so you feel good for practice. But how do you balance work, training, like your own training, sports, and the family all at the same time?
Um, what's the word I want to look for? It's a lot of support, especially from my family,
Hmm.
because I have a lot of hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. So I do like like lifting. I try to get it in while I'm at work. Um, once rugby season officially kicks off, it's my weeknights are gone. I'm never home, and then Saturdays are taken by rugby. So it's Saturdays all day, and if my kids in rugby, then my kids in rugby all day Sunday. So I sacrifice a lot of time to do what I like. Time management is probably like the biggest thing. Is make sure that I make time for the kids, the gym, me personally, because like especially when you got so many things going on, you need some you time, some like peace and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of support from my family. Reality, it's a lot of support, and but yeah, time management is the biggest thing.
Got you.
Without that, then yeah,
It boggles my mind sometimes because it's like I'm kind of just getting started in this game, and you know what I mean, like trying to run my own business and blah blah blah. And there'll be times where I'm like I'm so exhausted, just like you're saying, like I need a vacation, I need that me time. And then I think about like people like you, or there was another lady that I interviewed, and she runs her own business and she has a daughter and everything. And I'm just like I can't imagine taking care of somebody else on top of myself, on top of my business. Like I got so much respect for you guys, dude. It's insane.
it definitely is hard. It really is hard. But once you have like everything settled, like it becomes a routine. So it becomes a little bit more manageable. So but it definitely is hard. As long if you don't have a support system, like I got my mother and my wife, they're in there doing majority of the work.
Mm.
Majority of the work. Like I just I help very
Yeah.
small ways. They do it all.
Nice, bro. That's awesome. Yeah, my girl's been mad supportive as well. And it's funny because like she's way more handy than I am. So a lot of like the equipment and everything, she's the one who's putting it together. Like the deadlift platform that I have, she put it together. Or like the squat rack and everything, she's in there helping put everything together. So support system is definitely huge. So my next question for you is, How has your approach to training clients changed over the years? And why do all your clients have such impressive squats?
I that's mainly because I my biggest thing is, yo, if you're gonna leave here, and this happens to trainers all the time, but a client doesn't, all right, they feel like they need to move on, cool, move on, it's okay. Matter of fact, I know a couple of trainers. If you want to try them out, listen. Now I'm with it. You're never gonna keep all the clients, but if you leave here, you go to another trainer, you gonna have that perfect squat, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you train with Chino? All right." That's my biggest thing. So if you don't have something mobility, we're gonna work on that mobility. We're gonna work on make sure that that squat is perfect. You won't touch a bar until I feel your squat is perfect. Like so that, and then my approach to training right now, especially like the people that I'm at the point in my career I can pick and choose who I want to train. If I feel like I don't want to, I feel like you're not a good match for me, then I'll match you with another trainer at the gym. But for the most part, I really want, that's my signature, where the squatting has to be A1. So and then when you squat a certain amount of weight, as a person, you get your self confidence, your confidence goes up. So you want to go more. You want to, all right, can I go a little bit more? Not today. This is a good top set. You feel like you got more in the tank. That's perfect. That's what I want. So we're gonna do this. All right, we're gonna do another 2 sets of this same weight, and then 4 or 5 weeks from now, we're gonna see where you at again. And then trust the process. And that's where my training for that, I make it focus on legs. You want to do a body? Cool, we'll do body. But you want to do chest today? We're going to get 100 air squats before we start. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And then that way, like, I make sure that that's a big part of my training. Big part of my training. Nice. I had a client today. They're like, they're watching me. I had people that I have on programs watching me train clients today. And they're like, oh, you about to die. They're like, oh, you crazy. You about to die. And I'm like, let me see your quads. Let me see your quads. You're welcome. You're welcome. So
awesome.
That's that's the type of I want you to walk out of here with my signature.
Nice.
That's why.
Yeah, that's so dope. I don't know if he's still watching, but I think your client Antonio that joined in the chat, bro. I remember seeing him, like, he first made an Instagram, and I saw he was working with you, and then it was like, I don't know if it was like a month later. Yeah. So he's in the chat. Bro, I think he squatted over 400 or something like that. Yeah, I was like, dude, it took me years to get to 400. Years. Like,
he started, I think, like, his squat was like 200 something.
Yeah.
And
bro,
I was like,
absolutely bonkers. It's crazy.
He's putting in that work.
Mm-hmm.
Putting in that work, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. So that's why I was like, bro, I don't understand how all your clients are like hitting the squats so well. That's super dope. For me, I don't necessarily want to say I'm like a bench specialist, but that's probably my best lift and the lift that I understand the most. But I would say squats is probably second because that was my worst lift. So that was the one that I spent the most time like, okay, why am I so bad at this? How can I improve technique? How can I improve stacking, bracing, like all that other stuff? So yeah.
And I truthfully, benching is one of like I would say like one of the lifts that I'll say I have difficult kind of teaching. Not teaching in a sense where like breaking plateaus. So I'm like learning how to help people get that past that bench, because the bench is very hard. Once you hit that plateau, putting 5 pounds extra on your bench or 10 pounds extra on the bench is so hard. It's like it could take months.
Yep.
Once you hit that plateau, like I've had a bench and it took me a whole year to add 10 more pounds.
Yep.
And but people don't understand that once you hit that plateau, to get that extra 10, 15 pounds is extremely hard. So when you see people like, yo, they're 37 breaking records, yeah, because they've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah.
And it takes a long ass time. So you really gotta love this process to get to that level.
Yeah.
But like you said, when you see like young kids, 18-year-olds, like killing it, and like they're freaks of nature now. It's wild, but then they hit that plateau and they're like, oh fuck, now what?
Yeah.
And they don't understand that, this is for you to set up for 8 years from now. You could be able to lift that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but it's definitely the like longevity, the long game. And, but yeah, benching is definitely a weak point for me.
Nah, nah. It's so funny you say that because it's like you do have a good bench. Like your bench is mad respectable. And that's the thing that I like is you have really good overall strength versus some people, they're really, really good in one lift, but the others are kind of just like skating by. So, and you can kind of see that because like your squat is really strong in the 600s, deadlift's really strong in the 600s, bench is really strong. I think you're in the upper threes.
I think 385.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get at last two competitions. I got a little overzealous, and I went for 405. Should play smart with 395, and then it took me out. Whatever, but
Yeah, that's the goal, dude. My lifetime goal is definitely 405. I think if I train smart, I can hit it by the time I'm 30. But like I'm trying to take that smart approach and not burn out my elbows by the time like I'm 30, you know? So,
and like you said, if I train smart, I would hit 405 by now.
mm,
But I truly haven't really been focusing on it. I've been, it's not. It's something I would love to see one day, but yeah, it's something that I haven't been training for.
right.
I've been
Right.
focusing more on shoulder strength because of Charman. Charman don't bench.
Yeah. And you
Crazy.
know what? I need your opinion on something, bro, because I've been talking to a lot of people about this, right? And a lot of strongman tend to agree, but that's because they do strongman. Um, the overhead press, how do you feel about that and its carryover to the bench versus the bench's carryover to overhead press?
I think, in my opinion, I think that the overhead press carries more over to the bench versus the bench carrying over to the overhead press, because um, if you can, and it's mainly for me, it's more of the tricep activation at the
Mm,
finishing of the lift. It's not really like because your shoulders don't really take like your shoulders don't really like, especially like in the flat bench, they activate a little bit, whereas it's just holding the tightness, but they don't really actual apply force. Where like the
yeah,
overhead press is such a taxing lift on your lower back, your glutes, everything has to be tight in such a different way than a bench, that it feels like it is a totally different movement. It's 100% totally different movement. But
yeah,
having a stronger shoulder press will help you have a stronger bench press.
yeah,
Versus having a stronger bench press ain't gonna help you have a stronger overhead press.
right. And that's what kind of boggles my mind, right? Especially when it comes to powerlifting, I feel like the overhead press is so underutilized. Like for my clients, let's say I only see you twice a week, you're squatting and benching the first day and you're deadlifting overhead pressing the second. I don't like to have two bench days because I feel like the overhead press is so much more important for overall strength development. What's it called? Stabilizing the weight, just like you're talking about. It's way harder to stabilize it when it's in front of you and you're holding it or holding it overhead than it is if you're just laying down on your back.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, I
But
just don't understand why more people aren't using it.
I feel like a lot of people like, it's like something like, if you're not, I also think like, if you're not good at it, you can't really teach it.
Yeah,
And out of not more that you can't teach it, like, oh damn, it's such a really like a hard lift,
yeah,
especially if you're going heavy. Anything past 70, 80, 75% is where a bench you could maintain it, you can hold it, you can stabilize it 75, but 70, 75% at a one rep max of a shoulder press is, you might as well be 90% for me. Like
yeah,
it's crazy, because you have to stabilize it, and then when you're pressing, if it's strict press, it's a push press, either one is hard. Nice. So like it's such a taxing lift, because it can, what if it slips?
right.
Then it's a lot of things that can go wrong. Where like I feel like people, I think people feel safer doing a flat bench, but people should be doing overhead presses. Like
Yeah,
Terrence, I feel like most of his clients do overhead presses. Like that's all they do, and that thing. And I watch Terrence's training style, and it's so technical. Everything is so perfect. As like, I feel like he's like one of the best trainers in this area,
yeah,
hands down, the best coaches in this area. Like the technical, the way he formed, everything. It's like you watching him train people, like wow, that like his cues, everything. So like in all his things, overhead presses. So when he actually starts to do a bench press, they're just right through. They have shoulder mobility, they have shoulder healthy
Hmm.
shoulders, strong shoulders. So when they do a bench press, it's nothing to them.
Definitely. Let me see what's next. Oh, I mean, my next question is a little bit broad, but what are some of your greatest achievements? Because you're not just like a strong dude, but you have your own business, you got a family and everything. You have all the artwork and everything that you've been doing, which is super dope, by the way. Um, yeah, if people don't know, Chino is the one who does like the spray painting and everything for a lot of the art in his gym, and he does it for other gyms as well. So what are some of your greatest achievements?
Um, is it more like personal or like
It could be anything, honestly. Just like tell us a little bit about yourself.
um I think my my family being able to get the people that I have around me and and able to feel like I deserve it. I think that's an achievement. I think that's an achievement. A lot of people like I feel like I I, I feel like I deserve my family to a certain extent. Like I feel like I deserve that happiness that
Yeah.
kids bring me. Like it's a different type of happiness, and I feel like a lot of people like might, I think that there's more I have to do to deserve it, but that and being able to they need anything, they need something. The no is there's no. They can we need it. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need time. It's cool. I could clear my schedule today. Let's go. That's an achievement that I'm able to do that because it's buying things is one thing, but giving them time is different. And like or just showing them that what can be done. I think another thing like rugby, my team made it to national championship. It was televised.
That's crazy.
Freaking 7 months before that, they weren't starting me because I wasn't good enough for them. And I remember being when my wife came and my sister came to watch me play, and they didn't play me. And my wife asked me like, "Yo, why don't you play for a team that's gonna play you?" And I said to her, "I was like, yo, this is an undefeated team. I need to prove my point. I need to prove that I'm worth a spot." So like going from that to not being, I busted my ass. I went fuck everything else. I'm gonna make sure that this is my priority. So I started on the championship game. We got blown out. Still, I started. So like that was a big like I gave myself a pat on the back because I went from powerlifting to jumping straight into rugby and being hurt. Got hurt a couple. I've never been hurt at a gym. I've lifted my whole 10 years. I've been lifting. I've never gotten hurt. And then the first week of rugby, I got hurt. And then going from that to that, that's big an achievement on me physically because I told myself like I could do this. So that's another one. Yeah.
Nice. I definitely think those are definitely huge things to be proud of because it's a lot of the entrepreneurs that I talk to, they say one of the best parts about the job is that you're your boss. So you're in charge of your schedule, but that doesn't mean that you're actually in charge all the time. You know what I mean? Because like the amount of hours that you have to put in to give yourself those free times, that definitely makes a lot of sense to me. Why you're so proud of people like, oh, if my family needs time with me, like I can do it. You know what I mean?
I'll put it this way: when I first opened the gym, I was working like from 5 a.m. and I waited to leave till like 10 p.m. When my daughter was born, my baby girl, she's 3 now. I was so tired that I fell asleep at the hospital while my wife's having contractions. I
That's
couldn't, I
crazy.
couldn't, I couldn't open my eyes. I physically couldn't open my eyes. So when it came time to her to be born, I was up and I was up. So I tell people like, yo, do you have it in you to put enough time where you can't stay up for your kid's birth? And now I told her, so like now that I'm able to take the time off, I put in my work, I put in my time. Like I am gonna take 3 days off. I am gonna, yeah, I'm clearing my schedule for today. Y'all understand? You know, you get me? Like you get to that point, but people would like think that being an entrepreneur is easy, but it's not. This ain't for the weak. Because you know, you guys, you starting your own business and all the hours you got to put in, all the stuff to make sure that everything is aesthetically pleasing, putting yourself out there, hosting events. You know, it's very hard mentally.
Definitely. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of lessons I'm learning the hard way. Which is also part of why I'm doing all these interviews, is I'm like, yo, these people have been doing this for forever. They gotta know some good stuff. Uh, so my next question for you is, how do you keep up with your artwork?
That is it's like a love mine that I you know I neglect sometimes, and sometimes I give it love, and then I'll pick up I'll go through like phases of like weeks of just drawing, and I'll put the pencil down, and that's it. But I don't do it as much as I used to, and I would love to. Well, like you know, like sometimes I get support from my family, and sometimes they tell me shut the fuck up, get in the house. So sometimes no, we're going to Sesame Place today. You're not doing nothing. Let's go. So it happens. I can do it, but I gotta make time for it. And it's not a priority for me right now, so I don't make time for it. But I am starting to do more, where I'm able to express creatively that side, I guess you call it.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, I actually went to school for music, right? I wasn't a health and exercise science major. And then like after I graduated, I like taught music for a little bit, blah blah blah. But I was in college, and then a little bit after college, I was in different like musical groups. So I'd go around performing places, blah blah blah, have different gigs. And then when the pandemic hit, it all kind of stopped. So I more so was focused on like music production, like making beats and stuff like that. But it's definitely hard. Like I feel like similar to how training can be seasonal, I feel like being an artist can be seasonal as well. Because sometimes, just like you're saying, like you'll have more time to focus on it. For me, if I get like locked in into that creative space, I can make some music, make some beats, blah blah blah. Um, but then there are times where I'm just too busy, and it's like I can't designate the couple hours that I would want to just sit there and create. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
definitely,
it's definitely hard. It's definitely
yeah,
hard, especially when if you want to sit and create and be creative, you got to really, if your mind's somewhere else in your business, it's
yeah,
so hard to pop up with whatever it is that you want to create, your art that you're trying to create. It's hard. It's definitely hard.
definitely. All right, so I got two or three more questions for you. Again, I want to be cognizant of your time. I'm sure you got to get home to the fam or do what you got to do. So my next question for you is, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting their small business, and what are some of the lessons that you learned the hard way?
I would definitely say, uh, the whatever reason you're starting your business, hold on to that. Whatever your name is and whatever you're trying to do with your name, hold on to that, because the the more you go up in the ladder, the more you'll lose that. And try to make sure that everything that the more you grow, that it's growing off that one basis of why you're doing it, and stick to your lane, and um whatever your lane is, stick to it, and hope everybody the best, because there's gonna be people that don't want you to do good. There's people that are gonna talk shit about you, and hope them the best. Hope them best. Hope everybody makes it. There's so much money to be made out here. There's no need to be beefing with other trainers or other gyms or other brands. No, it's everybody can eat. Everybody can eat. So I think that'd be my one of my biggest things. And lessons is that the first thing I said. Don't lose sight of why you started it, and what you started, because when you lose that, you lose everything. Your reputation and your character is everything. You lose that, then there ain't nothing coming. But if that stays solid, then the money will come. The clientele that you want will come. So that would be the biggest thing for me, is make sure you stay true to what you're starting. And if somebody disagrees with it, that's okay. There's another gym out there for you. There's another trainer out there for you. This is what I'm doing here. It's okay to be picky. Not all money is good money. It's okay to be picky. You know what I mean? So like you get, sometimes you get working with people, you get different characters, and those characters want to kind of like try to talk you down, but you stay true to what you're doing, and the people that you want to come will come. And that's basically it. Huh?
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that I've been struggling with over the last 2 years, because it's like when I first started out, I wanted to help anybody and everybody, bro. And then I kind of realized like, oh, I need to find, like you're saying, like my why, like my niche, like what am I really good at, and then sticking to that. But then it's hard sometimes because it's uh personal training is very seasonal. Summer times are rough because everyone's on vacation, or like during the holidays it's rough, blah blah blah. So it's like when everything starts to thin out, I'm like, oh man, like I need to get more clients. But then it's just like, okay, would I rather give up my mental health and my peace that you're talking about, or do I and work with these people, or do I want to stick to what I know that I'm meant for? You know what I mean? And kind of just like ride things out and see how it goes. So that's definitely a huge thing to remember. I appreciate you sharing that. All right. So my last question for you is, what are your personal business and fitness goals for 2022? Right now, we're just over the halfway point. So what are you thinking about for the last like 6-ish months?
I want to host more. I want to do more events at my gym. I kind of want to branch out and do something that I stopped doing. I've I not stopped. I haven't had the chance to make it to other events, and I want to make it a priority to make it to other events. Because I used to do that a lot, and making making what Too Strong is what I originally wanted to be. I want it to be energy. I want it to be a movement. Yes, this is a location, but I don't want that to be Too Strong. I want Too Strong to be wherever. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be like, you feel some type of way that, yo, that's, the first thing I want you to think about is Too Strong. I don't even care that you're like, if you don't post it, I just want, I want you to feel that energy. And whether you have a shirt on, you don't have a shirt on that says Too Strong, or you just training and you're thinking about how we worked out it when we went to your spot, or how you worked out or how you hit a lift when you came to my spot. I want that energy to travel with you. That's what I want. And I think like this year is not mainly money. It's more of a bringing the reputation, the character to Too Strong like I wanted. It's that. And then like I said, like if that's solid, then the finances will come. So like that's my goal for 2022. So I'm trying to, take a couple of trips to different gyms. And if you want to come, you're more than welcome to come. Trying to go to like everywhere, PA, New York, wherever, just take a trip. And then, hit a couple of lifts there. And that's it. Everybody's like, you don't got, just wear your brand and let everybody see like, oh shit, that's what I want. That's what I used to do before I had the spot. And, now that I had the spot, I stay here. But I want to change that.
Yeah, I definitely, that's something that I'm trying to do now as well. Like just branching out and meeting more people, blah, blah, blah. Like a couple weeks ago was the first time I ever went to Diesel Gym over in, I think it's North Brunswick.
Yeah,
And
I've been there. It's dope.
yeah, dude, mad people go there. And I'm just like, yo, how have I never been here before? And then there's other people, just like you're talking about, like people in Pennsylvania or like Maryland, Rhode Island. There's a lot of, dude. This one guy who I interviewed, he's gonna squat 800 real soon. He hit like 775, something like that. So like, I would want to lift with someone who's that strong and see what it's like.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I tell people, when people, oh, you're so strong. I'm really not, yo. I got colleagues that I'm really not,
Yo.
yo. I got homies that way out squat me. I got homies that way out deadlift me.
Yeah.
My boy, you was at the deadlift party, the one over here bench pressing 405 for 6 reps.
Crazy.
So like bro, like wait, no, I'm not strong. I'm strong here, but outside of here, I'm not that strong. Like I'm all right. I'm regular. I'm like, I mean, they gotta take weight off for me. Like, so nah, it's that. But it's dope to lift with people that are stronger than you, because that's the only way you're gonna keep going up.
Definitely. Well, listen, I appreciate you for doing this, bro. This was super dope. I really enjoyed talking to you. I never got to tell you in person. Congratulations again on getting married. The ceremony looked beautiful. I'm happy for you, your wife, your kids. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I hope the rest of the year continues to go well for you. I'm definitely gonna show up to a couple of your events. I didn't get to come to the what was it, like the Christmas squat party?
Oh,
I
the
didn't get
Christmas
to,
squad party. Yeah, that
yeah,
was a fun day.
I definitely I'm gonna host my own squat event in October. So if you're doing like another Christmas one, that should give me like enough time to prep for it for
Oh man,
sure.
I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. Yeah, I'm definitely with it. I'll be at the one in October too.
Nice, nice. All right, bro. Well, thank you again for everything. And I hopefully I'll be able to talk to you again soon.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. All right, bro.
Be
Have a
good,
good
man.
one.
Be good.
See ya.